Long before the roads were tarred and the cities grew loud, there was a small village deep in southeastern Nigeria called Umuwaka. It was a peaceful place. Palm trees swayed in the wind. Children ran barefoot through red earth paths. The river sang softly at dawn, and the elders told stories under the moonlight. But beneath the beauty of Umuwaka lived a terrible fear, a fear of twins. In those days, the birth of twins was not seen as a blessing. It was seen as a curse. The elders believed twins were not natural, that they were spirits or signs of anger from the gods. They said one child belonged to the world of the living and the other to the world of the dead. And so, whenever a woman gave birth to twins, the village would fall into silence. No drums, no songs, only whispers. The children were taken away into the forest and never seen again. Mothers cried, fathers looked away, but no one dared to question the tradition. Because tradition, they believed, was law. Years passed, many twins were lost, until one night a woman named Adaeze gave birth. The rain poured heavily that evening, as if the sky itself was weeping. Inside her small hut, Adaeze held her newborn babies close to her chest. 2 girls, perfect, breathing, alive. Tears streamed down her face, not from sorrow, but from love. "They are mine," she whispered. "No one will take them." But word spread quickly through the village. By morning, the elders had gathered. "This must be done," the chief said firmly. "The gods must not be angered." Adaeze refused. She stood at the entrance of her hut, holding her daughters tightly. "I will not give them," she said. The villagers murmured. No one had ever defied this before. Then her husband stepped forward. For a moment, hope filled her heart. But he lowered his eyes. "We must obey," he said quietly. Something broke inside her. That night, she ran. With both babies wrapped against her chest, Adaeze fled into the forest, guided only by moonlight and desperation. Branches tore at her skin, thorns cut her feet, but she did not stop. She could not stop. By dawn, she reached the edge of another settlement, a small mission station run by a foreign woman known as Mama Grace. Mama Grace had heard whispers of what was happening in villages like Umuwaka, but she had never seen it this close. When Adaeze collapsed at her doorstep, clutching her twins, everything changed. "Help me," Adaeze whispered weakly. Mama Grace looked at the babies, then at the terrified mother. And in that moment, she made a decision that would change everything. "No child is a curse," she said firmly. "Not here." Word spread across nearby villages. At first, people resisted. They called Mama Grace a stranger who did not understand their ways. They said she was inviting danger, but slowly, things began to shift. The twins lived, they grew, they laughed, and nothing bad happened. No curse, no anger from the gods, just life. More mothers began to come, quietly at first, then openly. Some arrived in the night, carrying twins they refused to lose. Mama Grace welcomed them all. She built a place for them, a refuge, a place where twins were not feared, but protected. Back in Umuwaka, the elders grew uneasy. The disasters they had feared never came. Instead, the village began to suffer from something else. Guilt. Mothers who had lost children could not sleep. Fathers avoided the forest paths. The silence of the past began to echo louder than any drum. One evening, a young boy stood before the elders. "Why did we kill them?" he asked. No one answered, because for the first time, they had no answer. Months later, Adaeze returned to Umuwaka, but she did not come alone. She walked into the village holding the hands of her twin daughters, alive, smiling, unafraid. Behind her stood Mama Grace and others who had chosen compassion over fear. The villagers stared. The children ran freely. Nothing happened. No thunder, no punishment, only the sound of life continuing. The chief stepped forward slowly. His voice was no longer strong. "What we feared was never real," he said. Silence filled the air. Then, one by one, the villagers began to bow their heads, not to the gods, but in shame. That day, the practice ended. No more twins were taken. No more mothers were forced to choose between tradition and love. Umuwaka changed, and so did the villages around it. What was once called a curse became a blessing. and the cries that once echoed in the forest were replaced by laughter in the village. The silence of the twins was broken. Forever. The end.